Ever buy something amazing, only to realize maybe it came with a catch?
Buyer's remorse, the ultimate buzzkill.
Right. Well, imagine buying a tropical island. Total paradise, only to find out it comes with a UFO mystery.
Okay, that's a catch I'd be curious about.
You and me both. That's what we're diving into this time. The Dragon Snake, a Solomon Islands UFO mystery.
Intriguing title. Who wrote that?
It's by Marius Bourayan, an Australian engineer who actually lived on the island. He experienced all this firsthand.
An engineer. Those are usually the more skeptical types. That's interesting.
Exactly. And believe me, he went in skeptical.
Yeah.
He moves to Guadalcanal. Here's the locals whispering about this dragon snake haunting the waters.
Okay, island folklore, spooky stories.
Yeah, he figures it's just that, local legends. But then one night, he's fishing with his friend Joseph, and Joseph yells, "Look! The dragon snake!"
Oh no, I'd be terrified.
And Borean sees it. This bright white object, massive, he said, at least 60 feet across, just gliding over the water.
No way, just gliding.
Silently. No sound, no engines, no splash, nothing. What would you even think if you saw that?
Honestly, I'd probably be trying to explain it away, like, oh, it must be a weird reflection or something, but 60 feet, that's huge.
It's enormous. And get this, it wasn't a one-time thing. Borean says he saw this dragon snake, or UFO, over 60 times while he was living there.
60 times? That's not just a glimpse, that's like, it's part of the landscape.
Right. Imagine that, this unexplained thing, just a regular part of life on the island. Makes you question everything.
I bet. You mentioned he had some science books with pictures of UFOs.
Yeah, and he showed those pictures to the islanders. For them, it was like a light bulb moment.
Really? How so?
Well, they went from being terrified of this mythical creature to thinking, wait, maybe this dragon snake is something else entirely. Something not from around here.
That's fascinating. So it bridged this gap between their traditional beliefs and the idea of aliens.
Yeah, it's like those beliefs were their way of explaining this thing they had always seen.
It makes you wonder how much of what we dismiss as myth could be rooted in some real, unexplained phenomenon.
And for Borean, those cultural clues were just the beginning. The mystery only deepened from there. So we've got this engineer, suddenly a UFO hunter, this mysterious object, and now this connection to local legends. Where does it go from there?
This is where it gets really interesting. Remember all those sightings, always in the same area?
Right, near Guadalcanal.
Yeah, so Borean, being an engineer, he starts mapping these sightings. And he notices they're all clustered around a specific spot. The wrecks of the HMAS Canberra and the USS Chicago.
Wait, those were warships, right? World War II.
Exactly, sunk during the war.
So this UFO, it's hanging out near sunken warships. Why?
That is the million-dollar question. And it comes up a lot with UFOs, this apparent interest in battles or places with a lot of technology.
Like they're watching us.
Yeah.
Or maybe interested in our history.
Some researchers, like Jacques Vallée, he thinks maybe these aren't even alien craft.
Whoa, what else could they be?
He calls them control systems, like maybe they're influencing us in ways we don't understand.
Okay, now that's just, I need a minute to process that one. Control systems. But Borean, he didn't just stop at the warships, right?
No, he keeps digging. He talks to the islanders, the tribal elders, especially about this dragon snake myth.
And what do they say?
They tell him about Mount Dragon. It's this mountain with a hidden lake, a waterfall feeding it, and they believe that's where this thing is based.
A hidden base, like on land. So underwater activity, maybe something to do with our history, and now a base.
It's like layers of a mystery right on top of each other, and this is where that whole ancient astronaut idea pops up.
You mean like aliens visited us thousands of years ago?
Exactly, and maybe this Mount Dragon with the dragon snake. It could be a sign of that, something left over from their visits.
So it's not just lights in the sky, it's connected to, I don't know, maybe the whole history of the planet.
And Borean, he's putting all these pieces together. But as he gets closer, things get more intense. Remember that fisherman you mentioned?
The one who had a close call.
It was more than a close call. It really shook him up, even left him with some injuries. Imagine this. You're out on the water, nighttime, and you see the dragon snake in the distance.
I'd probably head the other way, fast.
Well, this fisherman, he shines his flashlight at it.
Oh no, bad idea, I'm guessing.
The UFO, it had been moving slow, but now it shoots towards his boat.
No way.
He tries to speed away, but this thing, it's like it's chasing him. The heat from it even scorched the paint on his boat.
Are you serious? This isn't just a light show anymore.
He abandons ship, hides in the bushes on the shore, but the UFO, it finds him, hovers overhead, bathing him in this light. He's sure this is it, the end.
I'd be terrified. What did it do?
He starts praying, and that's when the UFO finally backs off, disappears.
Praying. Wow. So was it curious? Aggressive? Or something we just can't understand?
We can't know for sure, but it shows how unpredictable these encounters can be. We're dealing with something totally outside our experience, and our actions, even just curiosity, can have big consequences.
So a little caution is a good thing. But this is all, what, stories, legends? Is there any proof of any of this?
Here's where it gets really interesting. Remember we were talking about ancient astronauts? Well, in the Solomon Islands Cultural Museum, there's this book.
A book, like what, a diary?
It's filled with drawings. And these drawings, they're of beings. Well, they look exactly like how we picture aliens today.
You're kidding. Large heads, big eyes, that whole thing.
That's right. And these drawings are old, way before any modern UFO sightings, even before science fiction was a thing. So how did the islanders know?
That's what I'm wondering. Is it just coincidence? Or is it proof that these beings have been visiting for a long, long time?
It's a question that's haunted researchers for years, and it's one that Borean really struggled with. These drawings, they connect us to the past. Maybe the answers aren't out in space, but back in our own history.
So we've got the drawings, the sightings, and more questions than answers, really. What happens next? Does Borean see the dragon snake again?
Oh, he does. And this time, it's different. He's not waiting around anymore. He goes looking for it.
Looking for it, like actively hunting for a UFO. That's brave, or maybe a little crazy.
A bit of both, maybe. But he had heard so much about this Mount Dragon, this supposed base he had to see for himself, and he brought Joseph along.
So they're going up a mountain at night looking for a UFO base. What could go wrong, right?
Right. So picture this. They're up on this mountainside. Hours go by, nothing. They're about to give up when suddenly...
It appears. The dragon snake?
Well, not exactly. This time it's a blinding light, but it's coming from right above them.
No way, you're kidding.
They both see this massive round craft just hovering there. Borean said it was perfectly smooth, like a giant pearl, completely silent, and just as fast as it appeared, it's gone.
Okay, now that's a close encounter. I'd have a hard time even processing something like that.
It definitely left a mark on Borean. He became even more determined to prove this was real, to get it on film. But as amazing as his experiences on Guadalcanal were, that was just the start. Remember those stories of underwater bases?
Yeah, the bottomless reef, right?
That's where things go next. Borean ends up on Maleta Island. And let me tell you, the stories there, even wilder.
Maleta. What's so special about this island?
It's like Guadalcanal, but the UFO activity is off the charts. More stories about the dragon snake, but this time it's connected to the ocean. There's this reef.
The bottomless one.
That's the one. Locals believe it's an entrance to an underwater base. And get this, Borean actually met a man who said his grandfather...
His grandfather what? Don't leave me hanging.
The man claimed his grandfather was killed by a UFO that came out of a lake.
Okay, seriously. Now we've got UFOs in the air, maybe underwater, even stories of them coming up from underground. What did Borean make of all this?
It's a lot to take in, right? But he started to see a pattern. The warships, Mount Dragon, now this underwater activity, it's like pieces of a giant puzzle. And just when he thinks he's getting a handle on things, he comes across these legends. Legends of giants.
Giants, like huge people. What does that have to do with UFOs?
These weren't just tall people. The legends describe beings of incredible size and strength living on the islands long ago. Some stories say they had advanced knowledge, maybe even contact with beings from the stars.
So you're saying maybe the dragon snake has been around for centuries.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for us if it's true?
That's the question that hangs over everything, isn't it? Borean's story, it's not just about strange lights or scary encounters. It makes us question everything we think we know about our history, about our place in the universe.
It's definitely given us a lot to think about. But we're left with more questions than answers.
And that's the thing about mysteries like this, isn't it? We may never have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we should stop asking questions, keep searching. Who knows what we might find?
Well, on that note, this has been an incredible deep dive into the Solomon Islands UFO mystery. But we want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts, your theories, maybe even your own experiences in the comments below.
And until next time, keep looking up, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep an open mind.